So, Ginger,
Yeah?
you know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What? Like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about? Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About? The podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
Nah, I'm Ginger Burham.
I have a correction from last week.
Okay.
I said that my sister can't eat strawberry ice cream. Turns out it's chocolate ice cream.
Right.
She wanted to let me know.
Important correction.
Important correction. It is funny though, because I was like, in my brain, it was absolutely strawberry. It wasn't like I was not sure when I was remembering. I was like, yeah, it was strawberry. And obviously I was wrong. But I think it's like, I'm probably thinking of somebody else who didn't like strawberry ice cream or something, right?
No, who doesn't like strawberry ice cream?
Well, people who ate too much and barfed, I guess. But I probably had someone else who didn't like strawberry ice cream in my life, and I just mixed those two memories
Mashed
together.
them together.
Or something, right? Like vaguely, I think I can kind of remember maybe that's what happened. I just think it's funny because it's like, it was clear in my mind that it was strawberry, but it obviously wasn't. And it just makes me think of all those people who are like, I'm sure that Nelson Mandela died.
Yeah.
In jail or whatever.
The Mandela strawberry ice cream effect.
Yeah, it can't be that my memory's wrong. It must be that the universe is wrong.
Right.
It's literally this Principal Skinner meme of like, am I out of touch? No, it's the universe that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's remarkably easy to implant memories, right? Like, let's say you had a picture of you playing with a yellow ball in the backyard when you were younger. Like,
right.
If your mom tells you like, oh yeah, you had this red ball that you used to play with in the backyard, you'll just remember it as a red ball.
Right. If you even remembered that incident to begin with and aren't just remembering the photo and then imagining what it was like, right?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things that there are photos of me doing as a kid where I am and not at all sure if I remember doing it or if I just remember imagining doing it because I saw the photo of myself doing it, right?
Yeah.
When I was little or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
Right.
The point being, memories are pretty unreliable.
Memories are incredibly unreliable, easy to fake. And in fact, the more you remember something, the more likely it is to be wrong. Because every time you remember something, you're actually recreating it in your mind. And so that is a chance for something to slip in there that wasn't right.
And the more you are sure of it, though, too, right?
Well,
like the more you remember it, the more sure you are that you have the details right. Even if they're completely wrong.
Even though they could be totally wrong. Like we were a few weeks ago, we were talking about doing a fan cast of Emperor's New Groove, right? And we both think of it as like, no llama face.
Right.
That line but he doesn't say it like that at all.
No, we just say it like that. And we've watched that movie so many times.
Yeah. And like,
that's not the line.
That's not the line. I mean, it's a little bit the line, but it's basically a condensed version of the line, which goes over like 20, 30 seconds of him being like, no stinky llamas, llama face. Like he goes on for a while about it. And the basic gist of it is no llama face. Right. But like,
You should put a clip in just for the enjoyment of our listeners.
Right. Well, I did last time, but I could maybe put another clip in.
I mean, you should maybe just do that every week.
I'll just put the entire audio track of the whole movie right here in the edit.
That's this podcast now.
Yeah, it can't be. My face, good. My beautiful, beautiful face.
Okay.
Stinky llama. Llama face.
That could be our outro.
Just the entire movie.
Well, I was gonna say in little bits, so if people want to hear the movie,
so we avoid copyright issues.
Yeah, if you play them across different episodes, it doesn't count.
You just play a clip, yeah.
If you just play a clip and they're in sequence, and it's every clip from the movie over a period of months or years.
Some weeks will be better than others.
It won't count. Yeah, right. There'll be silent moments or just like birds chirping or something. Anyway, we'll get to the outro later, I guess, when it's outro time. But we're here to talk about podcast ideas.
Yeah. Is that what we're doing?
That is what we're doing.
Already?
I guess so. But other ones, I guess, is what we're here to talk about.
Excellent. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Do you have some or should I start?
I have a couple, but you can start if you want. I don't have a strong preference.
Okay. So I mentioned my sister Sarah, who doesn't like chocolate ice cream, not strawberry ice cream. She also sent a podcast idea this week.
Excellent. I love when we can talk about ideas other than just our stupid ideas.
Yes. Other people's stupid ideas are also good. The idea is talking about what you Googled that week. And you can also expand that to what were the most common things Googled that week.
All right.
I'm not 100%
How did we find
sure.
out the most common things Googled?
Well, there are like lists out there, but I'm not sure how well they're broken down as far as that goes. I know that when I think it was our third episode, we were talking to Svetlana about her idea of Svetlana Google and where we would compare asking Svetlana a question to what you get when you Google it.
Right.
And I did look up like what the most popular Googled things are, which I think was just like in general, not like that week per se. And it was like Facebook, right? It was like
It was boring.
people just trying to get to a website that they already knew the address of, but instead they typed it into Google.
I mean, to be fair, I've done that because you have the search bar, right?
Yeah.
You can just type the thing into the search bar.
Right. And like it used to be different in that the search bar.
Not the search bar. I mean the
No,
address bar.
Well, it's called like the universal bar or magic bar or something. They combined the search bar and the address bar.
Right.
So if you type an address and you mistype it or you don't type the whole thing, it just searches.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even searches anyway, it seems like.
Yeah.
And so it's not too surprising that would happen.
Yeah.
Once they combined those.
It's a lazy way to do it.
Yeah, which is fine.
Like,
why
why type it all the way out if you don't have to?
Well, right. I mean, you can type facebook.com and go instantly to Facebook, or you can type Facebook, go to Google, and click on the link, which I don't know if that actually saves you.
I don't know which one's quicker, but it feels quicker.
It might be a case of one is more mental load and one is more like time spent or something. You know what I mean? Like it's you don't have to think as much if you just type Facebook than if you type facebook.com. Yeah. Not by a lot.
Yeah.
But a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but you gotta like change your keyboard to get to the .com.
If you're on your phone, yeah.
And usually,
well, no, actually you don't, because there's a .com button on the keyboard when you're on the search or when you're in the address bar.
Is there? I thought you still had to go to the 1, 2, 3 part to get
look,
to
there's
it.
a .com button right here.
Oh, you're right. Right.
Yeah.
The one that appears. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's in the like extra bar at the top or whatever.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway,
this is riveting audio. I'm sure.
So, but the point is, what kind of stuff have we Googled this week? I guess we would want to censor it in case we search for any naughty things this week.
Yeah. So
we would probably
should we try
skip
this?
that.
Should we try this out? What have you Googled this week?
Let me look. See, I'm just gonna. You know what I'm gonna Google? I'm gonna Google my Google history or activity. How about that? My Google activity. Welcome to my activity. Google. Okay, so today I searched for my Google activity. I have searched for a bunch of Baldur's Gate 3 things, which is not very interesting. I've searched for Tibetan fox, which is the fox that has the long face that looks like a weird man face. Like it looks like one of those like, you know, those medieval drawings of cats where it's like mostly looks like a cat's body, but then has like an old man face.
Yeah, I love those.
Or like a baby
face cat. It's basically face cat.
Yeah, or like babies. Like when they tried to draw babies, they drew just tiny people.
Yeah.
Like because they didn't, I guess, understand. Anyway, Tibetan fox is like that kind of. Oh, I searched for hibiscus flowers a bunch, chairs for artists. Nothing very interesting.
Okay.
Claudia Winkleman, she's a sort of a celebrity in the UK,
I guess if we do this idea, you've got to like get more creative with your Google searches.
Yeah, I searched for turkey bird.
Turkey bird.
Yeah. And turkey skeleton.
Are you going to elaborate?
Well, I tried to search for turkey and it brings up stuff about the country. So I had to search for turkey bird.
Okay, yeah.
But it sounds funny to say turkey bird.
Turkey bird, yeah. I'm just going to call it a turkey bird from now on.
Yeah. I searched for Shirley MacLaine because I was trying to remember how to spell her name.
I often Google things just to make sure I've got the spelling right.
Yep. I searched for some CSS stuff for like work kind of. This is boring. This is really boring.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can see if mine's more interesting.
Sure.
Let's see. What have I searched for recently? A baby drum.
Okay, so drum for babies, not a drum made of babies.
Not a drum made of babies. A drum for babies.
Yep.
No drums made of babies came up.
I hope those don't
good.
exist. I hope those don't exist.
Because that would have been horrifying. I searched for Death Disco Skeleton poster.
Sure, that's pretty good.
I saw that on the wall when we were watching Ghosts. Ghosts, not Ghost. Not the lovely Patrick Swayze movie, but the series.
The series Ghosts.
The BBC series Ghosts, which is kind of hard to say.
Sort of hard to say. When Svetlana was little, she always said Ghost is.
Ghost is, yeah. Ghost is. We were watching Ghost is. What else? I searched for How to Nightween.
How to Nightween. Okay, sure. Mm-hmm. To wean him off of breastfeeding all the time at night.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't really find anything that has been particularly helpful so far, so that was disappointing. I searched for Capitalism is the Bad Guy.
Okay, for that mug.
I searched for a Parmesan risotto recipe, which is what I made for dinner last night.
Okay.
I mean, I'm skipping the ones where I was going to a website.
Right.
I searched for Albany sewing classes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not very exciting audio.
How about see if we can look at I'm looking at Google Trends, trends.google.com, which is supposed to show you tell you like what's the top search stuff. I'm looking at it on my phone, and so I don't know if it's different on the web, like regular website, but it'll let me look at daily what's today and what's yesterday and whatnot.
All right.
Which is all sports things. Cricket World Cup.
I see that.
Kyrie Irving, he's a basketball player, right? I think.
Searching, I'm looking at it too here.
It's mostly football stuff yesterday. Dolly Parton was number 6 yesterday. I tried to go to the Explore tab, which lets you filter by different time periods. But if you put in any time period less than 30 days, it will say, no, I can't do that. So I don't know why it lets you do that, why it lets you put in time periods less than
I'm looking at
Jason Momoa.
So it looks like you can see what was trending last year, the year in search.
Okay.
Number 1 was Wordle. Number 1 in 2022.
Okay.
Number 2 was election results. Number 3 was Betty White.
Oh, because she died.
R.I.P. Number 4 was Queen Elizabeth. Less sad about that one.
Right.
Number 5 is Bob Saget.
Yeah, a bunch of people died that year, huh?
Yeah, very sad.
I guess a bunch of people die every year.
Yeah. A bunch of famous people, though.
Yeah.
6 was Ukraine. 7 was Mega Millions. 8 was Powerball numbers. 9 was Anne Heche.
She didn't die, did she?
Wasn't she like in a coma or something?
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like she was in a coma. I feel like something happened to her.
So this is a podcast where we vaguely try to remember if something happened based on search results.
And 10 was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Because there was that documentary about him or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the real-time trends right now. Number 1, Garth Brooks Honky Tonk. I don't know why. Number 2, Belgium national football team. Number 3, Detroit Lions, Chicago Bears, Jonah Jackson, offensive lineman.
People just looking up sports
stuff.
Because it's Sunday. It's the sports ball day.
It is sports day. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Alejandro Mayorkas impeachment. United States Department of Homeland Security, Republican Party. So I don't know who that is, but I guess there's some kind of thing there. Harry Potter, David Holmes, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, this is not very
2020
good audio.
Zimbabwe cricket. Yeah, it's mostly sports stuff and a couple of other. If we were going to do this, we would have to like comb through a whole week of trends and see if there was anything interesting.
Yeah.
And also hope that we searched. If we did this podcast, do you think we would just start searching for weird stuff just to make it interesting?
I mean, I do feel like I search for weird stuff anyway, like, and so do you.
Yeah.
I mean, baby drum and Tibetan fox, they're kind of like weird and random.
Turkey bird, yeah.
Turkey bird, yeah.
I guess we could talk about what we learned from searching for those things.
Yeah.
But
we could give warnings about what not to search for. Like, let's say I search baby drum and a horrifying drum made of babies did come up. I'd feel like I could be a cautionary tale.
Yeah, if that had happened.
If that had happened. Because sometimes that does happen, though. Sometimes you get a thing where, and you know, the images pop up.
Yeah.
Like, in case you wanted image search, and all of a sudden you're like looking at a giant spider or something.
Right, sure.
That's happened to me a number of times.
Yeah, I feel like the worst kind of stuff for that, my brain usually kicks in to go, hey, don't search for hardcore ponies with safe search off. And I have not done that.
Wait, but why were you searching for hardcore ponies?
Because ponies are cool and hardcore.
So you wanted a hardcore.
Yeah, I wanted a cool hardcore pony. I didn't want whatever would probably come up for hardcore ponies.
I imagine it's what you think would come up for hardcore.
What I think is illegal, so I don't know if that would come up, but something would probably come up.
Dark Google.
On dark Google, yeah. Okay, well, so could be an idea that could maybe work. Doesn't seem like anything interesting is going on Google at the moment.
On a side note, I also pulled up the real-time trends, and I just happened to glance at it again. And number 7 was the Seattle Seahawks, and then somebody named Michael Bumpus.
Michael Bumpus.
His last name is Bumpus.
I guess he's probably a football guy.
But I think it's pretty great that there's a football player whose last name is Bumpus.
Bumpus, yeah.
It seems appropriate.
Kind of, yeah. There's a lot of football players with like pretty wild names.
Like Michael Head Buttis.
Right. I mean, there's a guy called Dick Buttkiss.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get much crazier. Like.
Yeah, but yeah.
There's also, have you seen that Key and Peele skit where they are basically just naming football players for a couple minutes, and it's like the wildest, like just.
Are you gonna put a clip in?
I guess I might do that.
Yeah. I'm just here to create more work for you.
More work for me. Sweet.
Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State University.
Le Carpetron Duke Marriott, Florida Atlantic University.
The Dinklage Morgoon, University of South Florida.
Xmas Jackson Flaxen Waxen, California University of Pennsylvania.
So let's move on from that idea, I think.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one. Do you have an idea you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I got a couple ideas this week. My first really stupid idea that I know you're gonna hate.
Okay.
Is called Spill the Tea, and it's a podcast where we drink and review tea.
Okay. Well, I don't like tea.
Yeah.
So
maybe you'll find a tea you like.
Maybe. So okay, so it'd be like somebody who likes tea and somebody who hates tea.
Yeah.
Tea drinking podcast. That would be kind of interesting if I didn't have to be the one that was on it. Like, yep, still tastes like dirt water to me, or whatever.
Have you had a good lemon tea though?
I don't know. I mean, I've had tea with lemon in it.
I just could see that this would be a podcast where you would just be irritated the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, eventually,
which is funny because tea is supposed to be soothing.
Right. Eventually, I might acquire a taste for it, I guess, or whatever. I mean, that's how you do it, right? You just have it a bunch of times. But usually, I feel like acquiring a taste for something, you have to at least sort of like the taste to begin with, or find something appealing about it. I guess maybe not. You don't necessarily have to like the taste of coffee to drink coffee because you want to wake up or whatever.
Yeah, it's the caffeine.
Yeah.
Although I do like the taste of coffee now.
Yeah.
But not like just.
Not just coffee.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of those like black coffee drinkers.
Give me black coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't understand that.
And so we would be spilling the tea about tea.
Mm-hmm.
How many kinds of tea are there?
Oh my gosh. A lot.
A lot.
I mean, because you got different brands.
Sure.
Too.
Sure.
You've got your fancy teas and your less fancy teas. And probably like the ones you can get in the grocery store, and specialty teas that you probably have to order from specialty shops. I'm not like a tea enthusiast. I like tea, but I'm not especially knowledgeable about it. So.
Yeah. I also don't know anything about tea. I did briefly date a girl who runs a tea shop. but I didn't pick up anything from that because I don't drink or like tea. So
That was a good story.
I know, right?
I also don't know how we expand on this idea, really.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if we were going to do this, do we have tea? We could brew up some tea, I guess. Is that
I
what
mean,
you
I
with
do
tea?
have some tea.
We could also talk about tea, like adjacent stuff, like reading future in tea leaves or whatever.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, we could learn to read tea leaves. That might be fun.
That might be nonsense, but yeah.
But fun.
But fun.
Fun
maybe.
nonsense.
But I still don't know if that's something we could do during this episode.
Probably
to
not.
expand on it. Okay.
Probably not. But we could talk about like crazy flavors of tea that exist.
Okay.
I bet there's some crazy ones out there.
What would be
We could Google crazy tea, and then that would be in our Google history.
Right. What would be a crazy flavor of tea to you?
Hamburger.
Okay, so it's like a Bertie Bott's every flavor tea kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There's booger tea
Yeah.
and earwax tea and stuff maybe.
Oh, I don't want to try that.
No.
I don't want to try the hamburger tea either.
No, I like hamburgers, but that doesn't sound good at all.
I imagine it would be like the essence of the thing, like when you drink flavored water, where it's like it doesn't taste like the thing, but it kind of smells like it.
It like reminds you of the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what I don't drink flavored water like that because I don't like to drink water and be reminded that I could be drinking something tastier. Like, I could be drinking lemonade. Instead, I'm drinking water that reminds me of lemons or whatever.
So you don't like lemon in your water is what you're saying.
Not particularly, but even worse, the things that just barely even taste like lemon at all and just kind of smell like it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that idea.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a good one. I never say it's a good one.
That's okay.
I don't know if it's even okay. I think it might have just been bad.
Well, it's bad for me. It was a bad idea for me to it would be a bad one for me to experience as a podcast. It might not be a terrible idea. I'm sure there are tea-focused podcasts out there.
Yeah, I mean, well...
Probably already called Spill the Tea, but...
I mean, I guess, like, maybe somebody likes to listen to people slurping in the microphone. But I feel like most
Right.
people probably don't.
Probably not. You don't have to drink it on air, though. Or at least not audibly. As she drinks her coffee.
Just giving everybody a sample of what that would be like.
Yeah. I have another correction. I think it was last week we talked about that pervert Luby Lou.
Yeah, right.
And
oh, right.
the song Here We Go Luby Lou. So I thought it was Here We Go Luby Lou, Here We Go Luby Lie, but it's Here We Go Luby Lou, Here We Go Luby Light, Here We Go Luby Lou all on a Saturday night.
Which makes sense because it rhymes, but I thought it was lie as well, which again proves that memories are very
Right.
unreliable.
I said that and then that was your memory now.
Otherwise, the universe is wrong.
Right.
It definitely used to be Luby Lie when I was a kid.
Probably, yeah. I wanted to bring that up because I did unfairly defame Luby Lou as not just a pervert but a liar, a deceptive pervert, and that is not fair.
He's an honest pervert.
We don't have any evidence that he lies. Although I was thinking about what that means. Here we go Luby Lou, here we go Luby Light, here we go Luby Lou all on a Saturday night.
Luby Light is Luby Lou's sister.
I was thinking it was like, we're with Luby Lou, and then we've had kind of enough Luby Lou for a while, so we're gonna go light on that, light on the Luby, and then we're gonna go back to Luby Lou on Saturday night.
All on a Saturday.
It's all
night.
on a Saturday night, which does make me think it's a sex thing, right? He's Luby, they've had enough Luby, but then they go back to Luby, and it's Saturday night is the night you do sex stuff, right?
Is it?
It's like the party night, Friday night and Saturday night. Those are party nights, right?
Yeah. I guess they are, aren't they? But they haven't been for me for a while.
Right. But like, if there's a day you're going to party, it's going to be a Saturday or
Right.
Friday or Saturday, probably, right?
Right.
And a Saturday night, especially, not during the day, right? During the day, you're running errands or whatever. But at night, you party with Luby Lou, I guess.
During the day, you go get the beer. And
Right.
at night, you party.
Right, exactly. That's how party work.
Yeah.
Anyway, one idea I had is a podcast called Absolute Units, where we just talk about like the biggest things in different categories. Like the biggest animal is a blue whale. We could talk about blue whales for an episode, right? And the biggest cat, Maine Coon or something, right? We could talk about that, or particularly the biggest cat in Guinness records or something. Or we could talk about the biggest ball of twine in the world.
Biggest cup of coffee.
Biggest pizza, biggest whatever.
Okay. I'm on board with this idea if we get to visit them. If we get to visit the things. Can we road trip to the biggest ball of twine?
Okay, maybe, but I don't know how we would visit a blue whale or the biggest cat. Or...
Okay, well, visit the things that are doable to visit. I mean, we could go whale watching, but...
Yeah.
It could be like a boring adventure podcast.
Okay. Because part of what I was thinking was also talking about big animals from history, like the biggest dinosaur, whatever that was.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Gigantosaurus or something, maybe.
If we were going to take trips, it probably wouldn't be every week, right? Because we got a baby.
Certainly not, yeah.
But sometimes we could be like, special episode, we're going to see the biggest ball of twine.
We're going to go interview the biggest ball of twine for our podcast.
Yeah, we could like document our road trip. It could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be fun to go on more road trips?
I don't love road trips, but I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
Isn't the biggest ball of twine in the Midwest somewhere, or where is the biggest ball of twine?
I don't know. Do you want me to check?
Sure. Why don't you look it up real quick?
All right.
Because we have an electric car, so long road trips are a little bit more difficult.
Well, we'd have to stop, right?
And we have a baby,
too, so we'd have to stop anyway. It is apparently in Darwin, Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay.
If we want to drive there, 18 hours and 50 minutes.
Okay, so just a quick 18-hour road trip, which would definitely be at least 1.5 times as much as that. At least a 27-hour road trip.
It probably shouldn't be our only destination.
We could fly there, and that would be a lot less work.
What are other record world's largest cup of coffee? Is that one?
Probably. I mean, there must be one. One downside of this is we would have to find out what the biggest of different things was.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
Yeah.
Largest cup of coffee. That one's really close. It's just in Yangju, which is just north of Seoul.
Oh, just north of Seoul in Korea.
Yes.
Okay. So we would just have to take a road trip to South Korea, or is it in North Korea?
Well, okay. So one says it's just north of Seoul. Another one looks like this one's a newer record.
Okay.
It's in Mexico.
Okay, well that's possible to road trip to at
yeah.
least. But is it
somewhere called Guanajuato?
But is it like what is the biggest cup of coffee? Is it just sitting on the shelf, like on a counter somewhere, or is it like the biggest one you can buy?
No. This is it.
It's just a big mug, or what is it?
This says it contains 26,939.22 liters of coffee.
26,000 liters.
Almost 27,000.
I'm not particularly good at visualizing volumes, but that seems like a really big one.
Yeah, 7,116.59 gallons.
Okay. Another thing we could do as part of this podcast would be like comparing different big things, like how many of the biggest bug could fit in there, right? Or could the biggest ball of twine fit in the biggest cup of coffee, or whatever, stuff like that maybe. I don't know what the biggest bug is either.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those big stick bugs or something.
There's got to be something bigger than that.
Oh, they get pretty big. But
do they? How big do they get?
Like stick sized? Like actual big stick sized? I don't know.
Biggest bug. Highest confirmed weight of an adult insect is 71 grams for a giant weta.
What's a weta? Not much. What's a weta with you?
Beetle.
Oh, a big beetle.
Whoa. Look at this guy.
It kind of looks like a big roach from here.
Yeah. It's a beetle, but it looks like a roach. Like, look at this one.
That's a big boy. That looks like a big toy you would get at the dollar store or something.
This is a photo of somebody holding a beetle that is
as big as their hand.
Bigger than their hand. Yeah.
That's a pretty big bug, I guess. That's by weight, not necessarily by...
yeah, that's by weight.
Volume or
this
whatever.
Is according to sciencebob.com.
Science Bob. Oh, okay. Thanks, Science Bob.
If you want to Google what's the biggest bug in the world. It is safe to do so if you are afraid of spiders, because no spiders came up for me.
Oh, but that made me think about some really big, nasty looking spiders I've seen.
Yeah. I'm just letting the audience know.
Like those camel
in case
spiders.
they want to Google this.
Don't Google camel spiders.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Yeah, those are horrifying.
Or coconut crabs, which kind of remind me of a similar thing. Those are big crab boys that live on land.
Yeah, and we've discussed this. I think it's perfectly reasonable to be afraid of those because, like, they could hurt you.
Yeah,
they could break your arm.
They could probably break your arm and stuff. But at the same time, we will probably never encounter one. So it doesn't make sense to have a lot of space taken up in your brain.
Where
for
do
being
they
afraid
live?
of them. I feel like they live on tropical island in the Pacific somewhere.
Do they? They've got to be in Australia.
I don't know if they're in Australia.
Because I feel like Australia has all the horrifying monsters.
They do have what they have is horrifying monsters. I don't know if they have all the horrifying monsters.
Where do coconut crabs live? Indo-Pacific islands off the coast of Africa near Zanzibar to the Gambier Islands in the Eastern Pacific. They're very near Australia, but I don't know if they're in Australia. Oh, there is an Australian coconut crab.
Okay.
Yeah, which presumably lives in Australia. So there you go.
It'd be funny
weird.
It'd be funny if it didn't live in Australia, but it just had like an Australian vibe, and that's why it's called that. Like, I don't know, maybe it puts another shrimp on the Barbie or something.
Did you know that coconut crabs are also known as robber crabs?
Robber crab? Because they steal stuff?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This shows a picture of one just like clinging onto the side of a trash can.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
Wouldn't it be better if they were called trash crabs?
Trash crabs? Well, we can be the change we want to see in the world and call them trash crabs if we want.
Trash crabs. I like it.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if trash crabs are the biggest crab. They're a pretty big crab though, so they could be on our Absolute Units podcast.
Yeah, I mean they are absolute units.
Yeah,
even if they're not the largest.
But if
they've got to be the largest, right?
I don't know, but we could talk about what are the biggest crabs on an episode.
All right. Well,
Certainly.
this has legs, I think. Crab legs.
Okay. The crab certainly does. It has extra legs. It has plenty of legs.
Yeah. I do know what the largest crab is, but maybe I'll save that.
Okay.
In case we decide to explore this one further.
Okay.
So.
Did you have any more ideas?
I had one more.
Okay.
It is called What's Up, You Cool Baby? And I'm hoping we haven't done this idea before, but it's a bad baby advice podcast.
I don't know if we've done that specific combination of words. We've done baby stuff. We've done bad advice stuff. We've done bad garbage advice. We've done different things, but I don't know if we've specifically done bad advice about babies.
Yeah, it's like a bad advice for parents podcast.
Right. Well, I didn't think the babies were listening to get advice.
Baby, smoke some cigarettes.
So instead it'd be like, parents, give your baby cigarettes.
Parents, give your baby cigarettes. It's not a particularly unique idea, but I think it could be fun.
Okay. Do you have any...
How to get your baby to watch less screen time.
That's a prompt.
That's a prompt.
For me?
For you.
Okay. Yeah, that's easy. You just put your baby in a big spider web so it's stuck there and can't get to a screen.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking of big
Put your
bugs
baby
and
on the
stuff.
floor and get a giant trash can and put it over your baby.
Sure. I think our baby would knock the trash can over.
You got to get a really heavy trash can. You might need to put a rock on top of the trash can.
Okay. I don't know. That's obviously quite bad advice, but also feels bad to talk about. Maybe it would have to be more whimsical.
Yeah, I think it would have to be a little bit more whimsical.
Like, to get your baby to do less screen time, you should instead teach your baby to juggle.
What if we sometimes inserted good advice in there, like read to your baby?
Well, that's incredibly boring. Also, wouldn't that by slipping in good advice, wouldn't that make it so that people would be less anybody who listened would be less likely to do the good advice?
Yeah,
because they're used to all the advice being like, don't do this.
Yeah.
Why would we put good advice in our bad advice podcast?
In the hopes that people will read to their babies.
Okay. I think people already do that.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you are getting cold feet about your own idea because you love babies so much and you just want the best for them.
That might
You
be
don't want
the case.
You don't want anybody to be doing actually bad stuff to babies. So it might be
Don't
difficult.
do bad things to babies.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
good advice right there.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is the good advice portion, which is don't do bad things to babies.
Somebody out there was just stopped from putting a trash can over their baby.
Right. Or handing their baby to a giant spider.
First, get rid of the giant spider in your house, though. Because that's, no one wants that.
I mean, he pays rent, so.
Oh, he pays rent. Why did I just immediately picture like a like upright spider coming through the door, like putting his little hat on the hat rack, setting down his briefcase?
Because you have read The Far Side by Gary Larson.
Oh,
probably.
okay. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm 100% positive there's many issues, many strips or whatever where that happens.
Where there's a giant spider
there's
with
a
a
spider
hat.
with a hat, takes it off. It's like, honey, I'm home or whatever. But it's like, honey, I'm home, but I don't want to let you know because you'll eat me or something. Right.
I do think that any creature can become instantly cute if you put a hat on it.
It probably becomes cuter at least.
Yeah.
If it's a cute hat at least.
Yeah. If it's like a tiny top hat.
What if it's like a Pope hat? What if it's
Then it becomes instantly funny.
the Spider Pope?
Then it becomes instantly funny.
Yeah, that makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Including humans when you put a Pope hat on them.
Yeah, maybe a podcast where we figure out how to make terrifying animals less terrifying.
Or a podcast where we imagine the best hat for each kind of animal.
I like that.
Okay, so it's like a fox, maybe like a derby hat.
Derby.
Would be pretty good.
What animal would wear a fedora?
Ugh. In a good way or in a
bad way?
In a bad way.
Because best hat could be like, what hat describes this animal's personality?
Right. I think it's something like that.
Wasps.
What hat goes
Wasps
best?
would have little fedoras.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Also, we know that ducks wear little sailor hats because they're Donald Duck. Actually, most animals would look cute with a little sailor hat.
A little sailor hat. But it's appropriate for ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they wear such a dumb hat, sailors? Navy guys or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is that the hat they picked? Why
Who
do they need a
picked that
hat?
hat?
Why do they need a hat at all?
Yeah, who picked that hat? Actually, their whole uniform is very silly.
It is. Why does it got the flap thing?
Yeah, it's like
What's the flap about?
it's like you're just dressed to be in a musical.
Right.
Do you think that there's a whole I think sailors just always dance on ships, right?
Right, for sure.
That's part of their training.
Like older timeier sailors had like tricorn hats and stuff, and that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, those seem like they're more practical.
That's what I was picturing. What sailor hat are you
I'm talking about the
picturing?
little sailor hat like Donald wears, like the hat that American Navy members wear as their like dress uniform or whatever. The little like it's like a bucket hat but turned up.
Oh, yep. That's what I was picturing.
When I say tricorn, maybe I don't even mean maybe they don't really wear tricorn, but like the pirate hats.
Yeah.
Those seem somewhat practical maybe, but I don't know.
It's for
It's
got like a really wide brim, like you could stick a bunch of things in there, like cards, business cards. Maybe sailors are collecting a lot of business cards.
Yeah, or you could put like nacho cheese up there and then you could put some chips in it.
Sailors love nachos.
Everyone knows that. That's why they have that song, Nacho
Man.
Yeah. That's a sailor song, as we all know. Okay. So podcasts where we talk about weird hats or hats for animals or weird hats in general. Or weird uniforms in general. We could just talk about different uniforms.
I don't know. Hats on animals, though.
Yeah, that's better.
I like that.
But it could be interesting to talk about different uniforms. Like, why does the Pope wear that hat? I'm a Pope.
You just want to do your Pope imitation.
My Michael Ian Black as the Pope in that one sketch.
I'm a Pope.
On The State, which no one but me remembers.
Hey, I'm the Pope. Science is such a mess in a Pope. That's okay. The Pope, he's so nice.
But I watch a YouTube video
remember
of it all
it
the time.
But I also was a huge fan of The State.
Yeah. Not the state as a concept necessarily.
The state, the very underrated comedy sketch show from the 90s.
Yeah. Was that on MTV or something?
MTV, yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people from Reno 911. If you haven't heard of it by some chance, you should definitely give it a watch.
Yeah.
It only has a couple seasons, sadly.
Michael Ian Black, Ken Marino, Joe Latrulio, Michael Showalter. Anyway, doesn't matter. A lot of David Wayne. Anyway,
it's a good show.
That's a good.
The State Fancast.
Okay, or we just recite our different favorite things from the state.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dip my balls in it.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we would have to rewatch it probably because
Oh, that would be sad.
that'd be terrible.
Well, should we pick an idea?
I have one more.
Go one more.
That's kind of an. I was thinking about an idea you had a few weeks ago, the "Don't correct me if I'm wrong" idea.
Okay.
And I don't know, it stuck in my brain a little bit, and just kept thinking about like what could that podcast be potentially. So one thing I was thinking was facts that we knew, like we learned at some point that later were found to not be true anymore, or which something was changed, like the fact that Pluto is not a planet anymore.
Okay.
Right? Or like I remember reading as a kid in some book that panda bears are more closely related to raccoons than they are to other bears, which is not true. But I guess at some point they thought it was true.
Okay.
Or like the idea of there being zones on your tongue that different taste buds are for. So like you've got a zone for salty and sweet and stuff. That's not true.
Okay. So it's kind of like dispelling myths?
Sort of. Or like just talking about stuff that we thought was true and later found out wasn't true. That's one part of the idea, or one possible part of the idea.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, what if it was kind of that, but like stuff where we wish we hadn't found out the truth, right? That's why it's "Don't correct me if I'm wrong," because you don't want to learn the truth, right? Like, I mean, a lot of people were upset about Pluto and want Pluto to still count as a planet or whatever. There's the Brontosaurus thing I think we've talked about before, where like it turned out that Brontosaurus was not real because actually the story of that is kind of interesting because I think it was like rival scientists pranking each other basically is why they thought Brontosaurus was a thing, but it turned out to be Apatosaurus. The fact that T-Rex has lips, I don't know if I wanted to learn that.
I mean, did you instantly picture like a T-Rex with bright red lipstick? Because that's what I was picturing.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I was thinking, extending from that, it's just cursed facts. Things that are true, but we really wish they didn't know about them kind of thing. Like the fact that chainsaws were invented for childbirth.
What?
They were invented to help get babies out.
I didn't want to
Right?
know that. I don't know if I like this podcast idea. I don't want to know these things.
Or the fact that a blue whale, this gets back to our other idea, a blue whale is large enough that a human baby could crawl through its major arteries.
That's sort of interesting, actually.
It's kind of terrible though, also.
I mean,
to picture it at least.
I guess I find that a little bit fascinating, actually.
Okay. I mean, I do. It's a fact I remembered for a long time. So.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. There's another fact that I'm about to talk about, which is actually both things. It's both cursed and also not really true, which is there's a fish called a candiru or something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, but it's Candiru. And it lives in the Amazon River. And the stories about this fish are that it likes to swim when you pee in the Amazon River. It likes to swim up the stream of your urine and get into your urethra and then shoot out spikes that catch it in there. And then it like feeds off the blood in your urethra.
Ew.
Turns out that there isn't much evidence that this is true or that it's even possible to swim up a stream of pee like that, physics wise.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing.
I agree. And anyway, I was reading the Wikipedia about it recently, and I guess it's maybe not really true, or it's only a little bit true. To be fair, they have pulled this fish out of people's urethras before, but it's not really like as bad. Like,
I mean, that's already bad.
I know,
that's
right? It's already
real
pretty bad. So it's kind of a mix of both cursed, awful things to know about, and also finding out things that you heard aren't really true. So it's kind of both parts of that. I don't know.
All right.
That was kind of that idea. Also, I have some fish have human teeth, or human-like teeth, which is pretty terrible to see.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Are you going to show me a picture?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I don't have a picture here. And butterflies are crustaceans.
What?
Apparently, they've recently, according to a YouTube video I
No,
watched,
they aren't.
they have been a lot of
No, they aren't.
the way that classification is done in the animal kingdom is kind of different than it used to be. It's now a lot more based on like genetic studies rather than like seeing what things look similar and trying to figure out if they're related or whatever. Anyway, butterflies are now in the same group or clade, I think, as crustaceans. So that's a fact.
That's no.
That's no.
That's
Okay.
no.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of the reaction I was thinking that podcast would be is that's no. No to that.
No, I was saying that's no to butterflies being
I know. That's what I'm saying. It would be facts like that where you're like, no,
no.
I don't want to know that. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to hear about that.
actually, also no to the podcast idea.
Well, yeah, but yes to the podcast idea. Could still include no to that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but no.
But no,
Because I don't
okay.
want to know more horrifying facts.
Okay.
I have enough like intrusive thoughts without like
Sure.
thinking about babies crawling through whale veins
Right.
and
And
horrifying
urethra
crabs
fish.
flying through the air.
Right. Because butterflies are little crabs, I
Little
guess.
crabs.
Or little shrimp or something.
Yeah.
Flying shrimp.
Flying shrimp. I mean, flying shrimp. Gosh, no, that would be horrific too.
That'd be not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody wants to deal with that while camping.
All right. So we are pretty far into the recording. Do we want to kind of talk about something a little bit more?
Yeah.
And
So what ideas have we had? So we've had horrifying facts. We've
We've had a new version of Don't Correct Me If I'm Wrong. We've had
bad baby advice.
Bad baby advice. We've had absolute units. We've had
Tiny hats.
hats for animals.
They would be tiny hats because it's funnier.
Yeah, okay. Tiny hats for animals. And then, make me drink tea.
Make Miles drink tea.
The spilling the tea. Spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
So no to that one. And I guess we've got a veto on the cursed facts one.
Cursed facts. Yep.
Absolute units is interesting, but it would be us like Googling stuff to find out what's the biggest of different stuff.
Oh yeah, we had the Google idea too. Which
Oh
we
right, and Sarah's
decided
Googling stuff.
didn't really have legs.
It might, but it's not right
It
now.
didn't have interesting legs.
Yeah, the legs weren't very interesting.
Yeah.
Unlike the freaky crab legs or whatever.
Yeah.
So hats for animals is kind of feeling like the best one to
Yeah.
me at the moment.
Yeah.
What's the podcast called? Tiny Hats for Animals? What hat does the animal wear?
Hats off to you.
No, that's too.
Aw.
I mean, that's too.
I'll eat my hat.
Okay, that's something. That could work, maybe.
Any like haberdashery related puns we could come up with.
Yeah. I feel like just saying a common phrase that has the word hat in it is probably not quite enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
You get a hat and you get a hat.
No.
Hats for animals, tiny hats for animals is not that bad, I guess.
Okay.
We'll think about it. We can think about
We'll
it.
put a pin in it.
Yeah. Okay. Pick an animal and then we'll talk about a hat for it. And then I'll pick an animal.
Elephant.
Okay. Elephant, I picture wearing a cowboy hat with a small brim and it's really tall. Like a 10-gallon hat, I guess, or whatever. Like one of those like really tall hats. And it's like green and green felt.
Yeah. Green felt.
Maybe it's not a cowboy hat. I don't know if I'm describing it, but like it's a hat with a small-ish brim. It's got a brim, but it's smallish and it's tall. And it has kind of two lumps in the middle, or like one. It's got two lumps with a divot in the middle. Do you know what I'm talking
You're
about?
way more detailed than I
I don't
was
know.
gonna be.
I thought of an elephant wearing a hat, and that's what I'm picturing in my mind.
See, you have a one up on me because I have aphantasia, so I can't actually like picture the hat for real. Picture the hat.
Right. I guess.
I just got to think about hats I've already seen, and I don't think I've seen the hat you're describing.
I'm seeing if I can find an image that is something like what I'm thinking of. I mean, it's probably an image that I got from a cartoon or something, I guess.
I think.
Okay, but an elephant in this hat would be pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's very Far Side.
Yeah, it's kind of Far Side. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I googled tall cowboy hat, and I'm looking at an image of a woman in like fringed pants and kind of a maybe appropriative kind of Native American-ish vibe of her outfit, and she's wearing a hat that is at least 2 or 3 times as tall as her own head.
It makes you look like a cone head, kind of.
Kind of, but it's not really conical. It's kind of straight up.
It is comical though.
It's comical, if not conical. Yes. So I feel like that. What do you think an elephant would wear for a hat?
A little tiara.
Okay. I also just pictured an elephant in one of those hats. I
just like the idea that the elephant always wanted to be in the ballet.
I wanted to be a princess, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I like the juxtaposition there.
I'm thinking of an elephant now in a hat I never know what they're called, but like I call them like a cabbie hat. Like it's like a you know those Kangol hats that are
like old timey newsboy hats.
Almost, but not quite, because those poof out in all directions. This is like kind of like a baseball cap, except for the
like top meets the brim.
meets the brim at the end of the brim. Right?
Yeah.
What are those actually called?
I don't know. I mean, I always thought of them as old timey newsboy hats.
Because old timey newsboy hats are a little bit different, actually. Flat cap, I guess, maybe men's flat cap.
What is newspaper boy hat called? Gatsby cap, poor boy cap, or paper boy cap?
See, I think those are the other kind of cap that's also similar.
So if I look up cab driver hat name, it's called a cabbie cap, driver cap, golf cap, longshoreman cap, ivy cap, train engineer cap. In Ireland, it's called a paddy cap.
Okay.
In US, it's a flat cap. English cap or a flat cap.
Okay. So that I'm picturing an elephant in that, but I'm also pretty sure that does come directly from a Far Side cartoon. Of like an elephant in a bar or something.
Yeah.
All right, what about a different animal? How about a llama? What kind of hat would a llama wear?
Sombrero, but with flowers on it.
A sombrero, that's definitely a thing.
But with lots of flowers on it.
Sure. That's like I feel like when you said sombrero, it made me picture
or a little party hat.
A llama piñata with a sombrero.
Yeah, or a little party hat.
Isn't that a game, Viva Piñata, and that is what the piñata looks like, I think.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't know that. But I feel like it's got to be something festive, right?
A little party hat's pretty good as well. Yep, picturing a llama with a little party hat. I'm also picturing a llama with that really tall cowboy hat, and that's also very good. I don't know if there's any animal that wouldn't look pretty good in one of those really tall cowboy hats. Now that I think about it.
Really good or really silly?
Yes.
Both.
Yes. Also, I'm trying to think of a hat that wouldn't be good on an animal.
Oh, okay. Fedora wouldn't be good. Is not good on any creature.
But that's not true. Think about a llama wearing a fedora. His little ears sticking out.
But he's a jerk if he's wearing a fedora.
He could just be like a old-timey detective or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a trilby, like the little, really small brimmed fedora, it's worse. Actually, I don't know if that particular hat is pretty much only associated with like shitty internet dudes.
Baseball caps. I don't like baseball caps.
I don't like baseball caps either, but like
especially a backwards baseball cap.
Okay, but now I'm thinking about a llama in a backwards baseball cap, and that's funny. That's still good and funny, right?
Yeah.
Or like picture a pig in a backwards baseball cap, or an elephant, or a snake in a backwards baseball cap, or like there certainly are better hats, but it's still pretty good.
How did you even get a snake in a hat?
I don't know.
Like snakes could really only wear the party hats because they need that little chin strap.
They need a chin strap, I guess, but you could put a chin strap on one of those.
That's true.
I just remembered that there's one of my comics where I drew Goosebump in a backwards baseball cap, and that was pretty good.
I just remembered your little comic with the hat full of snakes. Tiny snakes.
That was Abe Lincoln's hat.
Yeah.
His top hat.
I will. I'll put that on the Instagram because it's basically my favorite comic that you've ever drawn.
Yeah.
And it's very Far-Side-ish.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I guess what I'm just saying is all you have to do is mention hats and animals in the same sentence, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Also, side note, you're currently wearing a shirt with a
with
an alligator wearing a backward baseball cap.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Sunglasses.
It's pretty good, right?
And it is cool.
Especially if you put the sunglasses on it.
He is on a skateboard, though. That does up the cool factor.
Yeah, my shirt says Skate Gator. I believe this is from Kate Beaton.
Oh,
Do you remember her? She did a Hark a Vagrant comic. Anyway, but is there a hat? Okay, so but is there a hat that's bad on animals? I think the Trilby, the like short brimmed fedora type hat that is known to be worn by like atheists on the internet or whatever.
Bad atheists.
Neckbeards and stuff.
Yeah.
People who like talk about being atheists a lot and stuff, right?
Not people who are just casually atheists.
Just if you're just atheist, that's fine. I mean, we're atheists, but like...
But it's when you're like...
It's like the same as like those guys
I'm
who like...
smarter than you because I don't believe in God.
Right. It's like the people that like make smoking weed their whole personality.
Yeah.
And they're wearing
Which I think like everybody when they first become atheist is a little bit like that, but like those people just like stay that way.
Yeah, I guess. So that hat is kind of
Ricky
unpleasant.
Gervais would wear one of those hats.
I'm sure he has. But are there any other hats that are straight up bad are there any hats that are just straight up bad? Because even one of those trilbies, I think, is kind of cute, maybe on a llama or something.
Let's see. What's a bad
or like
hat?
imagine a little praying mantis with one of those. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are the bad hats in general?
Well, that one.
And baseball caps, don't love them.
Oh, he's awake. All right, we had to take a quick break because Rory woke up.
Hi, Rory. Say hi, Rory. You're not going to say anything.
He might say something, though. We might get interrupted.
He'll probably say something at some point. Anyway, we were just talking about if there are any bad hats for animals. I think the answer is not really. Even the worst hats are pretty good on animals.
Yeah, even the worst hat, like, it becomes cute if you put it on an animal.
Yeah. But I think...
It's the juxtaposition. It instantly becomes like, oh, he thinks these people.
Right. I guess it's like, what does a certain hat imply about someone? And like a party hat on a llama. Does anybody in real life wear party hats? Because I feel like I only see it on cartoon animals at this point, right?
I feel like I've worn... I think I might have gotten party hats for his party.
Well, okay. For his birthday party.
Yeah.
Because it's almost for Rory's first birthday.
Yeah.
Babies in hats is almost as good as animals in hats also, though.
Yeah, he will be a year old in 8 days.
Yeah?
And he's pretty excited about it too, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay, well, we should probably wrap up.
Yeah.
So, animals and hats. Tiny animals and hats, is that where...
Tiny animals and hats.
Or hats and... Animals and tiny hats. Tiny hats for animals.
Tiny hats for animals. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I'll talk about our socials. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at What Should Pod. You can also find all of our socials on our website, which... Oh, are you going to say the name of our website?
What's our website?
Coolpodcast.website.
Wow, very articulate, Rory.
You can email us. Please email us your ideas. We would love to talk about your ideas and give you a shout out.
Thanks again to Sarah for giving us an idea this week.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Our email address is what@coolpodcast.website. And please leave us a review if you like this podcast and rate us, as that will help us get more listeners and more ideas, and we'll make our podcast better.
That's right. And now we should move to the outro.
Yeah.
Welcome to What Should Our Outro Be About, the podcast within a podcast where we try to figure out what the outro for this podcast that you're about to listen to should be.
Well, we have a suggestion from Sarah that it just always be Rory laughing.
Always be Rory laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have that many different recordings of him laughing.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's just one recording of him laughing, it's pretty good. But we did have the Rory sounds idea, which he seems on board with now.
Yeah, we would have to... What do you
have to say, Rory?
He only wants to talk when it's not easy to record it seems like.
Rory, do you want to make a sound for the podcast?
Should we give you some tickles? Will that make you laugh? Should we tickle you and make you laugh into the microphone? We had an idea we talked about earlier as well, and that I forgot what it was now, where we do some part of something every week. It was clips from The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, yeah.
Clips from The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
That we play part of every week.
Maybe not part of every week, but like we could just play clip. Let's do that this week.
Just play a clip, a couple of clips from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
How about maybe just one, because it's already kind of dicey as far as copyright
Yeah,
goes.
just one. We don't want to get into hot water.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we got some Rory sounds a little bit there, maybe. All right, here's the Emperor's New Groove. Here's a line from that.
So, is everything ready for tonight?
Oh, yeah, I thought we'd start off with soup and a light salad, and then see how we feel after that.
Not the dinner. You know.
Oh, right, the poison for Cusco. The poison chosen specially to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison. That poison?
Yes, that poison.
Got you covered.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. Didn't catch what that was about.